Worker. I am Cameron Irvine, and we are here from Detroit. Charles Doherty is my analyst, and we are looking forward to a very competitive game tonight, Charles, because both of these teams basically mirrored themselves in week one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could have been looking at two undefeated teams here. I mean, they fought, but I think what we're looking for, Cam, or what I'm looking for in particular for both of these teams, is consistency for every quarter. I mean, they had some good quarters, they had some not so good quarters. The team that wins is going to be full throttle through the whole game.
Detroit will receive the football as we clear away some textures that are shared by other teams that teams have edited. That's always a no-no. As we get ready for the Monday Night Spectacular here in week number 2. Detroit's in the black tops and white pants with the beautiful purple helmets. Pittsburgh in the all-yellow. Kick it. We are underway. From the 9-yard line, Detroit on the return. That's Rob Hunt up to the 37-yard line. And that is where Detroit will start with the football and their quarterback, Ethan Flowers.
I'm curious to see what kind of defense Pittsburgh's going to throw at Ethan. I mean, he's got 2 seasons in the league. I want to see how they try and mix things up and maybe try and confuse him, cause him to make some mistakes. But last week he was pretty steady, and I think he's going to build on it tonight.
You're noticing some scoreboard glitches with the AI. It's all about the lights in the stadiums. They impact our things. Just bear with us here tonight. First down and 10. Flowers is under center, and they'll start with a handoff. That's Andrew Gibson out of the backfield. He will pick up 4 yards. This Detroit offense includes Flowers and Gibson, along with Joel Harleman at halfback, Terrell Sutherland at fullback. Wide receivers are Rob Hunt, Jimmy Wint, C.J. Paris. Tight ends, Goradol Khan, Robert Henson Jr., and on the offensive line, Portia Henson, Hadrian Marlowe, Jimmy Hayes, and Jack Big Boss for Detroit. This handoff goes to Harleman, picking up 3 more. Let's quickly get to that Pittsburgh defense on the line. Odette Boudreau, Butch Menor, Bubba Bruiser, and Tommy Welbrock Busey. Linebackers, Doug Day, Brian Craven, and Dimitri Monzuma. Corners, Ness Gankel, Jermaine Menefield, Tom Krieg. Safeties, Todd Rigsby, Corey Menor, Amante Dubois-Smith, and Kane Vasquez. And Gibson able to muscle his way ahead for a first down. Detroit, no 3 and out for the Maulers to start.
So far, we're seeing decent blocking there for the Maulers. They have to be very disciplined in their blocking scheme because they're going up against some cagey veterans in the Bash Brothers, Day, Craven, and Monzuma, and they make you pay for your mistakes. If you don't execute that blocking scheme perfectly, they're going to be in the gap and shutting it down early.
Ethan Flowers last week threw a good bit against Queen City, but so far, nothing but running out of Detroit. 37 passes to 31 runs last week. Harleman picks up 8.
Yeah, Harleman just shows that extra effort. It started with some good blocking, but he just turned it on and muscled through and got a couple extra yards. We're looking at a pretty good situation here.
23 yards on their opening drive. Handoff again up the middle to Gibson. That's good enough for Detroit. First down, back-to-back first downs, 5 straight runs. You just know at some point they're going to try to take the top off.
Yeah, definitely. They're setting them up, Cam, but hats off to the offensive line for the Maulers. So far, I think they're winning the battle in the trenches.
First down and 10 for Detroit. Handoff to Harleman is going to pick up 2. I have to say, Charles, in our first game in this stadium, I love the sidewalls. I don't know if you noticed that. It's like those 90s paper cups and plates, the design, the purple and teal on the outside. You know what I'm talking about, Charles?
I think that just shows the entire league how domesticated you're becoming, Cam, because I missed that.
That's a tip pass away intended for C.J. Parrish. For the first time today, Todd Rigsby is called on to make the play for Pittsburgh. 3rd and 8.
Yeah, great play by Rigsby. He read it, and great reaction speed on the ground there, was able to deflect the pass at the right time.
First true test for Detroit's offense, just outside of field goal range. 8 yards to pick up. They need the 28-yard line. Flowers steps into the pocket and fires a completion. Jimmy Wint for a first down into the red zone. The drive continues for Detroit.
so far so good for Flowers. The pocket was breaking down. He stood his ground, went through his progressions, found the wide open receiver. It looked like two of the defenders, picked each other out of the play there, and had a great catch for Wint.
7:10 to go in the opening quarter. Michaela Foraker in the stats truck having nightmares about Jimmy Wint again from the times that he ran all over Bossier City. This is Ethan Flowers going to take off and run, broke a tackle, and picks up 9 yards down to about the 6-yard line.
Now that is quite the luxury for an offensive coordinator to have a quarterback like that. 2 seasons in the league's able to kind of brush aside that aggressive rush and get a really positive run.
2nd down, 1 yard to go. Handoff, that is Sutherland down to about the 2-yard line. 1st down and goal for Detroit.
Not sure which safety saved the day there, but the edge started off really well with the blocking scheme, but I think it was Dubois Smith came in and saved the touchdown.
1st and goal at the 2. This could not have gone any better for Detroit on their opening drive. 61 yards on this opening drive so far. 2 in the backfield. Flowers going to throw. Flowers dump. Oh, wide open was the intended receiver. That was Robert Ensign Jr., but the deflection saved the touchdown from Tom Krieg.
Tom Krieg, yeah, another veteran out there, 10 seasons in the league. I mean, great reaction time. I don't know how they do it, Cam. They must have like 4 eyes on their head, able to see that ball over a crowd and able to deflect it.
That's a good play, too. He was open. They just couldn't execute. 2nd down and goal. They'll go to a run now and walking it in. Andrew Gibson with his 2nd touchdown of the season. What an opening drive. 4 minutes and 1 second. Detroit with a touchdown.
Great drive, like you said, by the Maulers. Great blocking up front, said it a bunch of times, don't start for the offensive line. But what I liked about the play calling is they mixed it up. They were successful, and when it did break down where there was some pressure on the quarterback, it was all Flowers. He was cool on his feet and was able to get extra yards and keep the drive going.
9 runs, 3 passes, but those 9 runs went to 7 different players. A 12-play, 64-yard, 4-minute and 1 second drive gives us 5:59 to go in the 1st quarter. 7-0 Detroit. What a start for the Maulers. The Riverhogs, who gave up 34 points last week, off to a tough start defensively this week, but they're back to return this kickoff, but they won't get an opportunity. 9 yards deep. That is a kneel down for Doug Britton. Ace Fennick is the quarterback of this Riverhogs squad.
Ace Fennick, I had the pleasure of drafting him way back when, a couple gray hairs ago, and he has not failed to impress the entire league. I'm excited to see how Craven's going to use this wide receiver core, and especially Doug Britton. He's a blazer. That entire wide receiver core is fast.
Fennick, a budding Hall of Famer potentially in the coming years, takes off and runs, picks up 9 yards. The Pittsburgh offense includes Fennick, Mike Churchill, B.B. Belitz, and Keith Wheeler in the backfield. Deuce Fennick, Ziggy Ronick, and Doug Britton at wide receiver. The tight ends, Ben Harrison and Levy Lease. On the line, Landon Stone, Taylor Menor, Rachel Menor, and Bruce White. Handoff for Churchill is going to be 1 yard short. Gaston Jr., who we mentioned on SFL this week with the tackle.
Yeah, big tackle by Gaston Jr., a nice read. Able to get through that gap, and let's see what they do here on 3rd and 1. I mean, I think all points are pointing to the halfback run in the backfield, but let's see if they mix it up.
Halfway through the 1st quarter, this is Harrison in motion for Pittsburgh. Crowd full throat right now, but Churchill's got a 1st down and more, breaking a tackle out to the 42-yard line. Jubilee Marsh able to potentially save a touchdown as Churchill broke open.
That was impressive, and I mean, I've been going on and on about the Maulers' offensive line, but man, you have to tip the cap to the Riverhogs line up there. They really set the edge and set up Mike Churchill for a very good, big run there on 3rd down.
63 yards on Detroit's opening drive, 23 yards on Pittsburgh's opening drive. Again, more motion here from Deuce Fennick as Ace is in the gun with split back. Fennick will actually rush out to the right, take off and run, pick up 6 yards. That's a nifty play for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and it's nifty. I don't know what I don't think that was a designed run, Cam. I don't think he liked what he saw downfield. Probably excellent coverage there by the Maulers, and had to make up something on the fly there, and he executed it well.
Both teams staying ahead of the sticks. 2nd down and 4. Churchill is bottled up, makes something out of nothing, and at least able to pick up maybe about a half a yard on the play. Wrapped up by Chris Delro. This defense includes Thomas Matthews, Frodo Laggins, Sean Parent, and Robert Cherry up front. Gaston Jr., Casper Haddock, Matthias Citrion at linebacker, J.W. Hartshorn, King Rashid, Rick Evans at corner, Chris Delro, Ramnar Sudi, and Jubilee Marsh at safety. 3rd down for Fennick, rolling to his right, pump fake, and then taken down at the ankles. Wrapped up by Sean Parent. 4th down for Pittsburgh. Their drive ends in a punt.
Yeah, Sean Parent's a beast. He's a leader there on the line, but got to give credit for him for running down the quarterback. But you got to think on this play that the coverage downfield was perfect, not giving Fennick any other option other than to try and make some magic, and it didn't work on that play.
Pittsburgh debuting their Yellowbacks alternate uniform. The uniform features the Pittsburgh coat of arms on the left chest, the alternate P logo on the right side of the helmet, and the Keystone on the left side of the helmet. Pennsylvania is known as the Keystone State. And usually, Charles, I'm a traditionalist. I like the white on the robe, but I think this works for the Riverhawks.
It does. It's nice. It's I'm trying to figure out who that uniform reminds me of. What team? Can't quite place it.
Hey, it's better than the throwbacks that that other team just recently revealed. I don't know what you think about those. Gibson with the handoff picks up 2.
Yeah, I'm coming up blank on that one. I'm sorry. I'm going to need a little bit more to work on.
Steelers?
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Now who's not domesticated?
Even the league rolled out a new uniform.
2nd down and 8. 2:46 to go in the first. Handoff Gibson along the right side. Able to pick up almost near a 1st down. Another tackle for Detroit. Will set up a 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, perfect situation for the offense. 3rd and 1. Every snap, they're fighting for those extra yards. Haven't seen a lot of 0 or negative yards on the Mauler side so far.
The tackle for Creed, I should say. Another run for Gibson. 3rd down and 1. Handoff. This is Sutherland for the 1st down with ease. Detroit kind of doing whatever they want right now as Pittsburgh looks for answers.
Yeah, I mean, that's, Gibson and Harleman and Sutherland have got to be smiling from ear to ear at the job that offensive line is doing. It's great running behind that type of offensive line that knows how to execute the blocking scheme.
Trips off the right side. Flowers rolls to the left. Back across the field. That one is incomplete. Pass deflected away by Todd Rigsby. 2nd down.
Yeah, Hunt normally doesn't drop those. A seasoned veteran. Hit him right in the numbers. There's really no excuse for that, but he knows it. I don't need to tell him.
1:48 left in the first. Oh, wow. Gibson decked in the backfield. A loss of 3 yards. That's the first negative play of the night. Monzuma with the TFL. Check that. Craven.
That's Craven. Yeah, Coach Craven out there making a name. He already has a name for himself, but I guess setting the tone here, trying to get some fire on that defense for Pittsburgh.
8 different players already with a tackle on this Pittsburgh defense. 3rd down and 13. Flowers going to try again over the middle. That pass is caught. Rob Hunt, who was the intended target on that 1st down play, able to make the grab this time around.
That was a great execution by Flowers. You could see, I believe it was Monzuma was coming in at the last minute, ready to light him up, and was just able to deliver a very accurate throw to Hunt.
1:08 to go in the first quarter. 88 yards in the first quarter of play for Detroit. They've been pretty balanced. Now at the Riverhawk 47-yard line. Handoff. Sutherland picking up a couple. We saw this a little bit last year with Charleston, and of course J.W. Hartshorn was a former Charleston Predator, Charles, where they like to get every single player involved in the backfield.
Yeah, sometimes that's hard to do, and if you can execute that, a lot of happy people in the locker room.
Handoff, Gibson, his 8th carry up to the 41-yard line. It'll be another 3rd down coming up for the Maulers.
I mean, it's just methodical, Cam. Chunk by chunk, they're just moving down the field, and so far, Pittsburgh on the defensive side hasn't shown an answer the way they stopped that offense from moving downfield.
4 for 4 on 3rd down in the opening quarter. This is their 5th 3rd down attempt. Flowers, 3rd and 4, has to take off and run. He is just short. Decision time coming up for the Maulers at the end of the quarter.
Wow. That was very close.
That's the end of one. Detroit 7, Pittsburgh nothing. You're watching the Monday Night Spectacular right here on VFN. Charles, you think that was a first down?
I don't know. I think my eyes are decent enough to be able to see that. I think he crossed the line. I don't know.
Well, we've got a 4. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 1 yard to go. Inches to go for Detroit. Offense is out there. Handoff up the middle. Gibson didn't get it. Turnover. Pittsburgh gets the stop. Wrapped up by Doug Day.
Oh, man. It must have been the color of the uniform reminded him of Twinkies, and he just took it to the next level and just fought through that line. Man, that was a huge stop.
A monster play there for Pittsburgh. Their defense needed it because Detroit was doing whatever they wanted offensively, and I like the call going for it on 4th and 1. Why not? They haven't stopped you yet. Now Pittsburgh with a little bit of momentum, trying to get Churchill going. He'll push ahead for 4.
Those are the type of plays where we talked about the number of veterans on that Pittsburgh defense. That's when the veterans step up on those key plays like that. You saw Doug Day just break through the gap and just shut it down.
2nd down, 6 yards to go for Fennick and the Riverhogs. Handoff to Churchill, gets a couple more. Check that. That is BB Belitz with his first carry. 3rd down for Pitt.
I'm waiting for Pitt to maybe test the secondary a little bit. They've got some very high-skilled wide receivers, and as long as they kind of mix up the different route levels, I think they'll be okay. And Ace is the type of guy able to find the guy that's open.
Roll to the left. Fennick wide open, caught 1st down. Ziggy Roenick out inside the Detroit 30-yard line. Last week, Ace Fennick, 273 yards. That was 6th most in the league.
You can tell they practiced that, Cam. It just went off perfectly and knew where the wide receiver was going to be. And the offense needed that kind of hitting the arm to get some momentum going.
8:50 to go in the opening half. A fast-moving game because we've not had a lot of stoppages of play. Just 3 incompletions. Well, make that 4 as Fennick is rocked.
I think that was Robert Thomas, the inside linebacker, came in and just nobody touched him, and Fennick wasn't able to do anything with the ball.
2nd down, Fennick now 1 for 2. This is where he scrambled out of earlier. 2nd and 10. Sending in motion Britton. As you mentioned, a talented, speedy receiving core for Pittsburgh, no matter how you cut it. Fennick dropping, looking for someone to get open, sheds a sack, and it's incomplete. He actually had a guy underneath, Charles, I think, looking for Ziggy, incomplete.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't get the name and number of that open wide receiver, but he just had to make a snap decision because the house was falling down around him.
Dangerous play there. 3rd down and 10. They might still be outside of field goal range here. Pittsburgh would like to get something off the board after that turnover on downs. Fennick's pass is dropped by Doug Britton. That is an unusual drop.
That is very unusual. I mean, it hit him right in the midst. He normally doesn't drop those.
Let's see what Pittsburgh decides to do here. They will kick from 49 yards away. Otis Boudreau is the kicker for Pittsburgh all time. Boudreau, 236 of 247, fifth most made field goals all time in the league, and that one's drifting right, and it's good from 49 yards away. Pittsburgh's on the board after a 30-yard, 7-play drive.
I held my breath a little bit on that one, Cam. That was drifting to the right. You are indeed correct on that one. Oh, wow.
If that was a 51-yarder, I think it would have stoinked.
Is that what you call it, stoink?
I take it from Scott Henson. You know, people said doink, but he calls it a stoink. So it's more fun that way. You can see the wind, Charles, is blowing in this direction because that kick from Boudreau in the first quarter, Detroit had a chance to return it, but here in the second quarter, that goes way out of the back of the end zone, and Detroit will start on their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's something they're going to need to. Those kickers are going to need to make note of because it could be a game decider.
8:26 to go in the first half. 7-3 Detroit. We expected nothing less from these teams. 2.5-point favorite is Pittsburgh, but both these teams played down to the wire in week number 1. Came up just short. Looking for their first win of the season tonight as Gibson picks up 7.
Good run on first down. The defensive line on the Maulers have shown some sparks, some ability to punch through. They need to show a little more consistency there and kind of start dictating the terms there in the trenches.
10 carries already for Gibson in the first half for 34 yards. This handoff goes to Harleman.
There you go.
Harleman pushed back, and Monzuma will force a 3rd down and 2.
They need to do. They can build on that. Like I said before, those linebackers, man, they adjust quickly. You see a hole and they fill it quick.
Another 3rd down for Detroit. They failed on their last one, 4 for 5. Pittsburgh 2 for 4. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson again stuck behind his line, and Pittsburgh is going to come up with a stop. So the Riverhogs adjusting nicely to what the Maulers are presenting them here in the first half. Detroit will have to punt.
We had 2 big plays by Monzuma back to back, keeping the offense off the field for the Maulers, and now we get Ace another chance to come out and see what he can do.
Phoenix got Pittsburgh with 24 passing yards, 36 for Detroit. It's been more of a run-focused game so far. Britton unable to return that, a dangerous return man in SFL history, but good field position for the Riverhogs at the 44.
Definitely. I mean, that last drive, they walked away with 3. They needed points on the board in front of their hometown here, and they can build on it here.
7:07 to go in the first half. Phoenix starts under center. He will roll to the right. Ace Phoenix pass is intercepted and returned down the sideline all the way to about the 32 of Pittsburgh. That is taken away by Rick Evans, and Detroit's got a first down.
Did not see Evans on that one. I think if he had a chance to maybe let the route settle in a little bit, I think he would have changed his mind throwing to that wide receiver because Evans was lurking in the background, chomping at the bit, waiting for the ball to come to him.
Evans just 10 interceptions now in 7 seasons at corner. Sometimes it's tough to get picks when you don't get thrown at much, but Evans, with his first of the season, able to get Detroit right back in business.
Yeah, that's why they don't throw to him.
Yeah, probably. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Gibson again, picking up 4.
This is going to be a problem for Pittsburgh if they can't find a way to stop this running game for Detroit, because if they keep the lead, it's going to be hard. They're going to be able to. Detroit in particular is going to be able to milk the clock big time, because they've been just having their way on the edge in the middle. Any run they run, they've always get a positive yard. 72
rushing yards in the first half for the Maulers. They'll add on more. That's Sutherland getting a couple. I mean, you can see it, man. Detroit will throw if they have to, but if not, they're just going to get 3.3 yards a carry and keep it moving.
Why not? I mean, I think Pittsburgh needs to start bringing some people up in the box. Ask one of the Boss Smith or Rigsby Minor or somebody to go up there and try and stop it.
Flowers going to throw, pump fake, going to take off and run, hit from behind, and the combo stop actually prevents him. Dubois Smith saved the down. He was going to get pushed ahead by Monzuma, but another 4th and 1 decision coming up for Detroit. This one is longer. They'll kick the field goal.
The defense, they rose to the occasion there. keeping them to only 3 points. I mean, that's pretty big there for Pittsburgh. They needed something.
41-yard kick. That's good. 10-3. Detroit over Pittsburgh. Both teams moved the football okay, but Detroit just 8 yards on 4 plays after the interception gets 3.
Yeah, maybe it looks like the Pittsburgh defense starting to settle in a little bit, but only time will tell. And we got to see how Ace Fennick here responds.
There's 47 yards of offense so far today for Pittsburgh. And this kick will be returnable from the 2-yard line. It is Churchill out of the backfield getting up to the 28, so he'll probably be a little gassed as B.B. Belitz will come in on first down.
Yeah, that's always the risk when you have your number 1 wide receiver returning kicks. Normally gasses them and they're out for a play.
See what Churchill was thinking. Just had to break a couple of tackles. He would have had a lot of room down that left sideline.
Yeah, one little scoot to the side, and we could have been looking at a pretty interesting situation with maybe some points on the board.
5:41 to go in the first half. Detroit 10, Pittsburgh 3. Oh wow, Blitz is hit hard in the backfield. Excellent pursuit. Gaston Jr., the linebacker.
Yeah, read it before the snap, knew it was coming in his area, and just got that extra jump.
Second down, 12 yards to go. Hand off, Churchill back in, and this time Mike able to get 7 yards to set up a manageable 3rd down and 5 for the Riverhawks.
I just think that the veteran quarterback Ace Fennick needs to kind of settle in his in the pocket there and let the routes develop. I think he's trying to make something happen too much, maybe forcing him a little bit.
Play action, Fennick looking, going to take off and run. Didn't have a lane, and sacked by Sean Parent. Parent with the takedown, sack number 23 on his career. 4th down, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Parent setting the tone there for that defensive line of the Maulers. A couple good plays tonight, and this one I think was probably his best. Throwing Ace Fennick down. Fennick had his eyes for the first down, and Sean Parent wasn't having anything to do with that.
Pittsburgh will punt it away. See if Detroit can extend this to a 2-score lead for the first time tonight. Hunt's got a little bit of room to return up to the 28-yard line. The SFL Week 3 returns Saturday. Got a couple of great matchups. Mexico City at Baltimore, both coming off a bye. Detroit is at Oklahoma City. That could be a spicy matchup. Renegades home opener. Houston at Fort Worth. In Vancouver and Arizona. Sunday, Albuquerque takes on Denver, Carolina at Pitt, Sin City at Bossier City, and Charleston at Florida. That's Saturday and Sunday right here on VFN UFL. Tuesday, Friday, Monday this upcoming week. In week 14 right now as the handoff goes to Gibson, picks up a yard.
Nice stop there. That's what you need to do. You got to be a little aggressive, and they showed it on that play. Having Wellbrook Busey kind of do a little bit of run blitz there and shut it down.
114 to 51 in the yardage department. Second down for Detroit. Handoff to Gibson. A lot of space. It's a 3rd and long 2 coming up for the Maulers.
It's without looking at the score, Cam, I think that it's maybe a bigger margin of points there for the Maulers, but I mean either team has got it at this point.
3rd down and 2. The middle, at least initially, open. Big fullback, big tight end actually in there to block, and that is the first down for Harlem, and that's Goradul Khan, the second tight end, in at the fullback spot, and he picked up a great block.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big tight end, 290 pounds, 6'7". If you're going to get behind the tight end to help you block, Goradul's the one.
Detroit milking away the quarter, playing keep away with Pittsburgh's explosive offense. Gibson will pick up 3 on the play.
So see if they, open up the pass book a little bit here. I think they may be content, Cam, to just kind of run this out.
Just 19 first half total plays for Pittsburgh, including punts. 7 in the box for the Riverhogs. Hunt goes in motion. This is Sutherland now blocking. Blocking for Harleman, and missed a block there. Will set up a 3rd down and 8 for Detroit, one of their more difficult 3rd down attempts of the night.
Linebacker blitz up the middle, led by Doug Day. Just no chance for the offense on that play. Well done.
A good chess match going on between Detroit and Pittsburgh here in this first half. The second half adjustments will be interesting. Flowers, down the middle, finds Rob Hunt for the first down at the 2-minute warning. A beautiful ball over the top of the Pittsburgh defense.
Not sure what Brian, outside linebacker Craven, was going on that play. Went a little wide. I think he had a shot at the quarterback, but he had another idea in mind.
Corey Menner whiffed on a potential pick, and Detroit's drive continues. 2-minute warning here in Michigan. 10-3, Panthers, not Panthers, Maulers over the Riverhogs.
They're related.
That's the medication talking. No, there is not a single team on this network named the Panthers, so I don't know where I got that from. Hand off to Harleman. Check that. Sutherland gets 7 on the play, 2nd and 3.
And the other thing that's concerning, Cam, is not only that, but you're talking about home decorations like plates and forks and.
I'm full on loopy, my friend. Who knows? Stay tuned for the second half.
Yeah, I know, right?
90 seconds to go in the second quarter. Gibson takes the handoff. He's got a first down and into the red zone.
Oh my gosh, that is reliable. Just right up the middle there. Doesn't have a ton of yards per carry, but it's always a positive gain when you put the ball in his hands.
Detroit's pushing it now a little bit as Flowers was looking near the end zone. Pass is incomplete. 1:11 left. Both teams have all 3 timeouts.
I think that was just a not good communication between the wide receiver and the quarterback. I think the wide receiver maybe went a little too inside on that route.
3 receivers, 2 to the left, right. Wow, Charles, it's getting worse.
Sorry.
Flowers back to pass, and that is incomplete. Nobody could get it off the deflection. Pass was intended for Jimmy Wint, 3rd and 10.
One of the things that talking about Jimmy Wint, I don't know if this is right, but it looks like he's 260 pounds. That is a large wide receiver.
I was going to say I don't judge, but I do have to enforce those things, don't I? 3rd down and 10, 1:07 to go in the second. Flowers' pass is intercepted, threw it into double coverage, and taken back to about the 19-yard line. The rookie, Amante Dubois-Smith, making the play, and Pittsburgh keeps it a 1-score game.
That is huge. That is a huge defensive play there. The Riverhogs needed that desperately. They may not put points on the board. I know there's not a lot of time left. They can do it, but at least they have the thought that they can stop this offense by the Maulers. They just need to get a little more aggressive.
Considering that Pittsburgh's offense has only had 19 plays to Detroit's 41, I think they'll take a 10-3 halftime deficit. Pittsburgh does get the ball to start the second half. SFLM Defensive Player of the Season, Dubois-Smith, making that play. Vanek on a rollout. Will swing it to Ziggy to the 43-yard line, and that will help Pittsburgh stay aggressive before the end of the first half.
What a perfect placement for the ball for the wide receiver there, right over the shoulder pads of the defender, so the wide receiver was able to turn his body and bring it in.
2 timeouts left for Pitt, 10-3 Detroit. Fennec dropping a throw. Throws it short. That is caught at the 48-yard line somehow by Churchill. 1 timeout left.
I put the ball where only the wide receiver could get it. I thought Gaston had a shot at either a deflection or maybe possibly an interception, but Fennec aimed it where he needed to.
Time and timeouts becoming a factor now for Pittsburgh. We'll have to watch it down the stretch if they have an opportunity at points. Fennick's throw is incomplete. It looked like Britton was waiting for the ball. Harrison was not. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't even looking at the quarterback and just doinked off him.
What would you like to see him do here, Charles?
I would try and do a sideline route there, get maybe 15, 20 yards, maybe get a shot at possibly a field goal.
2-5 on 3rd down. Fennick going to roll to his left, fires left, incomplete. Pass intended for number 80 on this offense. That is Foles. 4th and 5. That's not the time you want to be throwing to someone we don't know, Charles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a collection, like we talked about. They've got a full stable of wide receivers, and you got to throw to one of the better ones, or excuse me, one of the veterans, let's say.
Oh, 2 yards deep. Okay, all right, yeah, take the knee. Just making sure Rob Hunt's eyes are okay. 1st and 10, coming up at the 20 for Detroit. I think they'll just run this out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you don't want to give any life more than Pittsburgh has. Just go to the locker room and start figuring out what your adjustments are going to be.
Start 3 wide here. They do have all 3 timeouts. 33 seconds left. They'll hand it off. Gibson just pushes his head forward. That picks up 2 and might see one more play.
Yeah, for the Maulers, I think we're going to see much of the same in the second half. I mean, why change it? They're very successful in the run play. I think when they try and pass it, that secondary of Pittsburgh makes them pay for it. So I think that we're going to see a lot of more of that ground and pound offense of the Maulers.
Flowers tipped over the middle, almost caught. That was a dangerous bouncing ball. C.J. Parrish had a shot at it, and now there's 1 second left.
Yeah, that was dangerous. I mean, why push it? I mean, especially deep in your own territory, you don't want to cause a turnover, and they could just put an easy 3 up.
3rd down and 8. Be wise here, Maulers. Roll out. Flowers crosses body, incomplete. The half is over. Not the way that either team really wanted to end the first half of play, but it was a well-played first half. No flags, just a single turnover, and Detroit leads 10-3. Your thoughts on a very competitive first half of play, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, it's very much like I expected coming into the game. I mean, we've got 2 teams here I think are very evenly matched. I think what the difference is, what I'm seeing on the Mauler side is that offensive line is just blocking, like they've been doing it for 100 years. And defense for Pittsburgh, particularly the middle linebackers, I think are starting to get a little bit of their groove here. Seen some great secondary play on both sides of the ball. But I'm curious to see what kind of adjustment Pittsburgh makes on their offense in particular, because I was expecting a little bit more. Ace has been pretty quiet. What does he have? Like only not well. He had like only 5 passes until that last series. So not a lot of activity from him. I think we need to see a lot more from Ace here in the second half.
Detroit 10 and Pittsburgh 3 here on the Monday Night Spectacular. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine, Michaela Foraker, Ron Haynes. Our experts in the stat truck. Winner tonight goes to 1-1. The loser falls to 0-2 and will probably feel pretty disappointed to be there, considering that they played some good football through the first couple of weeks of the season. That kick is deep out of the back of the end zone, and Pittsburgh gets the ball to start the second half.
Like I said, let's see what kind of adjustments Pittsburgh makes. I don't necessarily think they need to force it too deep down the field. Maybe get a rhythm going with some swing passes or some drag routes over the middle.
We'll start with Doug Britton in motion. Down to 7 on the play clock. Hand off to Churchill, opposite direction. Churchill drags big number 94 Citry on for 8 yards.
Yeah, that's what you need on first down. you give a little confidence for the offense, and Ace has the whole card deck to use.
Second and 2. Hand off Blitz, and Blitz has not had a lot of room to run tonight. Just 3 carries for no yards. Shut down quickly by Thomas Matthews up front for Detroit.
Big third down here for Pittsburgh. They got to get some momentum here, and it starts by having a successful first series of the second half.
And they punch in this third down. Handoff, got it. Churchill, first down to the 35-yard line. And at least Pittsburgh can say that their second half adjustments are working. They kind of look like Detroit a little bit to start the second half.
Yeah, got a little bit crisper on the blocking by the offensive line and the tight ends, and also Churchill seems like he's got an extra spring in his step as well.
Up to 95 total yards of offense for the Riverhogs. Both teams very methodical this evening. Fennick just 3 of 9. Flowers just 3 of 11. Both quarterbacks have been struggling, so they've been going to the ground. Blitz again. They gave him 2 on that. That's almost impossible.
Yeah, I don't know how. That's a very grateful 2.
Second and 8. Points at a premium tonight. Fennick. Handoff. Not much room there either. Wrapped up by Gaston Jr. Both defenses staying very disciplined. Third and long coming up. It's in Ace's hands now.
Definitely in Ace's hands, and don't have to go, like I said, you don't have to go too deep. Even at 3rd and 9, you don't need to push it 20+ yard routes.
3 of 7 on third down tonight. Detroit is 6 of 11. Pittsburgh trailing 10-3. Going to need to open up something here. Detroit brings 5, and Detroit almost got home. Fennick avoids the sack and throws to Segi into a crowd past the 40-yard line for a first down.
That's what Ace does. Cool and calm in the pocket, brushes aside the defensive tackle, and just shoots an arrow into the mosh pit.
Well said, Charles. Wow. Great throw.
It's like throwing a watermelon through a keyhole.
What else you got? Arrow in a mosh pit, watermelon through a keyhole. Don't burn them all right away. Churchill
just comes out.
Picks up 9.
Good. This looks like they're starting to get a little, like the whole, I mentioned Churchill getting a little spring in his step. I think the whole squad on the offense is now.
This is what you want to see out of an opening drive to start a third quarter. More than 3 minutes off the clock, into scoring position. An obvious improvement from the first half as Blitz, again struggling to get yardage, but does get enough, at least for now, for a first down.
I mean, Blitz is just getting pounded by that defensive line, the defense of the Maulers. They're picking him up and throwing him down like it's WWE.
The first down for Pitt, up to 131 total yards on the night. Handoff to Churchill, running behind his blockers, expertly picking up 6 more.
He looks like he's a very intelligent runner. He doesn't try and go in 5th gear right off the bat. Gets the lay of the land, figures out where the blocking is, makes his adjustment, and he's just very patient.
Churchill 54 yards tonight. Gibson 55 yards on the ground. This is Blitz, probably one of his best runs, and it'll be 3rd and a short 2 coming up for Pitt.
It's I think right here would be a good line up in a power formation and do a play action or maybe even a rollout, see if you can catch them on their heels.
3rd and short, they're going to run it, and Churchill not going to get there. I was with you, Charles, maybe something a little bit different, but Chris Delro, the safety, comes up to make the play, and after taking half the quarter off the clock, they're only going to get 3, and that feels like a win for the Maulers.
Definite win. Had to put some points on here in this first drive.
34-yard field goal for Pittsburgh is good, and we're 10-6 now. 12-play, 62-yard drive, 4 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, I know they're not. The Pittsburgh's not happy, walking away with 3, but they know, what worked on that series, and they've got something to build on next time they get the ball.
We'll see what Detroit looks like in their first possession of the second half.
How long was that drive, Cam? It seemed like it was an hour and a half.
It was quite the drive. 12 plays, 60 yards, took 4 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock.
Maybe I reacted, maybe overestimated that time.
It was a pretty good guess. Pretty good.
I was close.
First down and 10. See the play count a little bit better for Pittsburgh after they didn't have the ball much in that first half of play. Flowers hands it off to Gibson. Gibson with a stiff arm, still able to get 4 out of that. And that's what he's been best at tonight, Charles, just getting 4 yards on first down.
I mean, I talked about how patient the running back for the Riverhawks, Churchill, was, and we're seeing a lot of that on the Mauler side for all of their running backs.
Second down and 6 for Detroit. Handoff. That is Sutherland for a first down. This Sutherland-Harleman-Gibson combo is just getting the crowd all into this game right now.
Yeah, really no adjustments needed on the offense for the Maulers. I mean, Pittsburgh needs to figure out a way to show them that they can stop that running game.
And off Gibson. And Gibson pushing forward, picking up 5. Again, on first down, 4 or 5 yards. That'll work.
And it looked like it was going to be 0 yards, Cam. He just put his head down and his shoulder pads down and got those extra 4 yards.
For some people, this might be a little bit of a boring game, not a lot of high-flying action, but for others, they got to love the dominance up front that Detroit has showed so far tonight. Not on that play. A TFL in the backfield as Harleman is brought down. 3rd and 5.
That's what they needed in Monzuma. I mean, been making big plays all night.
Yet another 3rd down for Detroit. The one bad thing about this strategy is you're in 3rd down a lot. This is their 12th already in the ball game. 3rd down and 5. Trips off the right side. They're going to roll to the left. The blitz is picked up, and the pass is caught. Rob Hunt, first down into Pittsburgh territory.
They had him, Cam. I thought he was running right into the mower blades on that one, but was able to take that quick step and make his body turn and throw it to Hunt. Oh, I thought that was going to be a disaster.
Gibson got just enough of a chip there on the incoming blitzer.
Wow. That's amazing.
Launched a first down for Detroit, their 10th. And the 10-6 first downs is the same as the score. 10-6, 3:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. Handoff to Gibson. What a surprise. 4 yards on first down.
And that's it. I mean, this is going to be an issue here in the 4th quarter. Like I said, the defense is going to be tired. You know, the body can only take so many of those hits before that starts wearing down.
2:45 left in the 3rd. Handoff. That's Sutherland getting 4 more. 3rd and a long 2.
It looked like Monzuma just clotheslined him. Is it a clothesline if both your feet are in the air? I get maybe not.
I was going to say a comment. I'd just keep it to myself. You can get in trouble on the internet.
You're going to talk about throw rugs now?
Huh?
You can talk about throw rugs now?
That was much worse than that. First down and 10. Gibson picks up a move of the chains.
Oh, did I tee it up for you?
You teed up something. I don't think it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was. Hey, Charles, our next game is August 4th. Denver at Mexico City. That should be, especially after the convention and seeing what Denver's bringing, that should be a stellar matchup. Mexico City will see if they can bounce back against Baltimore. Harleman picks up 8 on first down right there to set up second down and 2.
Yeah, well executed run blocking, and Harleman just hustled through there. Had the likes of Doug Day trying to tackle him, was still able to get another 3 or 4 after that.
They've doubled up Pitt in rushing yards just about 143 to 75. And this is only the second drive of the third quarter, and it's almost gone. 2nd down and 2 with 1:23 to go in the quarter as the handoff goes to Sutherland and picks up a first down. Pittsburgh has no answer.
No answer at all, and very impressive. I mean, hats off to the, like I said, the offensive line and the tight ends and even the wide receivers for good blocking downfield.
And with so many players getting carries, nobody's really tired on the smaller squad. 21, 8, 8, and 3. Although Gibson, for really the first time in this game, it feels like, stopped for no gain on first down.
Another hit by Doug Day. He's all over the place.
Day, 6 tackles, 2nd on the team right now, only to Kane Vasquez, who has 9. And both of those players lead anybody on Detroit's defense in tackles. Handoff again is stopped for nothing, Sutherland. So here we go. Pittsburgh bowing up. If they hold them to a field goal, it's still just a 1-score game.
Yeah, let's see how aggressive Pittsburgh here is on this play. I mean, they've shown when they've turned it up a little bit, Cam. They've shown an ability to get past the blocking. Let's see if they continue that on this play.
This is the longest 3rd down attempt of the night for Detroit. 8 of 13 on their previous conversions. And at the end of the quarter, we couldn't even finish the drive. Wow, end of the third, 10-6 Detroit in our second drive of the second half. I think that's a first for us, Charles. I didn't know what had happened. Wasn't expecting the end of the quarter.
Yeah, that's what you call long drives, Cam. Time chewers.
Just 15 total drives in this ball game. This is the 9th for Detroit. As Flowers drops to throw on 3rd and 10, going to take off and run. And he slides just shy of the sticks. I think he could have had a little bit more if he just would have gotten a little more aggressive with it. Charles, Pittsburgh gets the stop.
You know, I'm never going to fault the quarterback for sliding. Always when they go shoulders first, you get a little nervous.
Field goal for Detroit is good, and it's back to a 13-6 game. Both teams get field goals on their opening drive of the second half. 14-play, 56-yard drive for Detroit, and that is Scylla Aldmere with the field goal.
Looking for that big downfield play by the Riverhawks. We haven't really seen, well, we've seen a couple, mid-range plays, very successful, nice throws, nice catches, but in tight spaces, but looking for that big explosive play for the Riverhawks.
Doug Britton on the return, and Deli asks in the chat, what's the SFL record for quickest game? Well, now we're going to 3 overtimes, so thanks a bunch for that.
Yeah, wow. Honey, leave the light on.
my poor teeth could really use a fast game tonight. Not that we don't want.
It's like a country song. Somebody's got to build on it.
Hey, you know what? You're right. You're right, Charles. I'll write that down. Put it on my next album. We don't know that story yet. 9.5 to go in the 4th quarter.
Get writer credit.
And BB Blitz has some space. Blitz in the open field. Past the 50 down to the 44-yard line. It looked like there was a defender kind of in a shallow zone. Wasn't expecting Blitz, ran right past him.
That's what I call a big play. I mean, they needed that, and they're in good position there to build on it. Nice run by Blitz. Saw the hole. Again, seen a lot of good running on both sides, and on that one, I think was one of the best runs of the night.
Casper Haddock made the tackle. He was the one that initially let Blitz go. Surprised that no one else was close enough to make the play there. Under 9 to go in the 4th quarter. Handoff to Churchill. He gets pummeled after a 4-yard gain.
I mean, the point is, the 4-yard gain. He got pummeled, but was still able to put 4 on the board. Amazing. 93 yards in the second half for Pittsburgh. Only 80 in the first half for the Riverhawks. So they've already surpassed that halftime total. 2nd and 6, handoff to Blitz. Blitz is tattooed by Citry on 3rd down. Yeah, that was an angry tackle by Citry. Just haven't seen a lot of play sets by the Riverhogs. If they're down, here late in the 4th quarter, Haven't seen any formations that set them up for a long pass.
Third down, 4 yards to go for Pittsburgh. Fenech going to roll to his left. Fenech fires. It's intercepted. Picked off by Detroit. That is J.W. Hartshorn making the play. And that rollout has not been kind to Fenech and the Riverhogs tonight.
Yeah, we've seen, the games I've watched this season, it seems like defenses are starting to adjust to those rollouts.
Yeah.
I always hold my breath when I see the quarterback run out of the pocket. Sometimes it's feast, but a lot of times it's famine.
And that's proof, Charles, that the league is always evolving. It's a copycat league. People are going to find something that works. The rollouts were killing teams early in the era, and now teams have adjusted to make sure that they account for those. Back to the heavy ground game for Pittsburgh. Gibson on the run. This is just the 4th possession, Charles, of the second half, and that was the first one that resulted in no points.
Yeah, Gibson's knocking on the 100-yard mark tonight.
72 on 22 carries for Gibson. Last week, Gibson got another full plate of work, 21 carries, 60 yards, so slight improvement there. Second down and 7 for Flowers and the Maulers. Handoff up the middle. It's Gibson again, getting 3 more. Third down and 4 with 7:20 to go. Every third down heightened.
Yeah, definitely. Both of these teams haven't really shown an explosive downfield game, so always hold your breath here on third down.
16th third down attempt for Detroit. Handoff well short. 44 on 44 crime there. Doug Day with another stop. Pittsburgh's going to get another opportunity at this thing.
Yeah, that's what you call fast reaction time by Doug Day. Hard to run on the outside when Doug gets can smell where the run's going to. He normally shuts it down.
Charles, we have had 8 completed passes in tonight's game. 8. Pittsburgh's going to have to figure it out because they're the ones trailing.
And again, I'm waiting to see that, with formation, that makes use of all those wide receivers that they have.
So far tonight, Roenick is the only receiver with a catch for Pittsburgh. Deuce has none. Britton, none. Harrison, none. Lease, none. Nothing out of the backfield. Fenech, that's Ziggy. First down to the Detroit 47-yard line.
Great catch by Ziggy, but if you're keeping, Britton doesn't have a catch at all. That's a heck of a defensive night by that secondary.
Yes, Eddie, or Arizona. Both teams combined now with 9 completions. Ziggy has all 4 of Fenech's, 4 for 93 on the game. 6:10 to go in the ball game. 13-6 Detroit. Here goes Ace on a rollout. Fires near side. Wide open. Wow. Doug Britton for his first catch. Somebody blew an assignment.
Yeah, somebody blew an assignment, and that was not the best placed ball. I think we could have been looking at, knocking maybe in the red zone if he would have put that in a good position for him to get a run after that catch.
Well, Ace starting to get it moving. Pittsburgh up to 202 total yards, chasing Detroit's 231 and chasing the Maulers on the scoreboard as well. Under 6 to play in the fourth quarter. Detroit 13, Pittsburgh 6. Split backs in the backfield with Ace. Ace going to hand it off, and immediately Churchill is dragged down by the shoulder pad by Gaston.
Oh, he read it pre-snap. Knew where he was going to go. He knew where the ball was going to and just executed it perfectly.
5 TFLs for Detroit, 3 of them Gaston. 5:25 to go in the fourth. Play action rollout. Ace going to get rid of it, and he is smothered. Frodo Leggins, 3rd and 20.
Oh my God, that hurts too. He's been sacked. Is that sacked 4 times tonight?
Unofficially, we got 3 on the board for Detroit. Pittsburgh has none.
Wow. On
their defensive front, back under 200 yards now. 3rd down and 20 for Pittsburgh. and they just run it. Wow,
Curious.
that's a little surprising, but coming off of a sack, just maybe didn't trust. Maybe just want to punt it, play defense.
Well, a deep throw to, the Doug Britton or Ziggy or Deuce, whoever, could have got a penalty out of it. Almost as good as a punt.
If they can get a good punt, they'll look like geniuses. The fair catch on the sideline is called for about the 10-yard line.
Not bad, not bad.
So Pittsburgh right now, pretty much, they need to stop. The danger, Charles, is that Detroit goes on one of those drives they had to start the third quarter, and this ball game is over.
Yeah, they gotta turn the heat up. I mean, Doug Day's been, blazing, and Monzuma's been blazing all over the place. I think they need, all 11 to just put it in high gear and start disrupting.
Hand off Gibson, 2 players rushing to the football, only picked up 1 yard. Dubois Smith having himself a great night. The rookie is making a big impression in Pittsburgh in his first 2 games.
He's a tackling machine. He's got just a very good head for the game. He knows a good feel for the play, where to be.
Second down 9 for the Maulers, 4:05 and counting in the fourth quarter. Hand off, no surprise. That's Sutherland.
Look at that.
Only got a yard. Smothered again.
Yep, they're fired up. That defense is fired up. Let's see what they do on third down, Cam. Keep it up. I wouldn't sit back in coverage. I'd try and disrupt, just like you've been doing.
Rob Hunt, 3 catches for 50 yards. Jimmy Wint, 1 for 21. Parrish has 0. Henson has 0. Kahn has 0. And just 4 for 12 is Ethan Flowers tonight. Third down and 8. 3.5 to play. Hunt's at the bottom of the screen. He's been the top target tonight from the 13-yard line. Flowers ticking it down, making sure it's taking as much time off the clock, and Detroit runs the ball, and Gibson is stopped in the backfield for a loss of 1. Now, you'd want to talk about trusting in your defense. Detroit's making sure that they cannot throw this game away.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're playing next level here this series, and right when they need to.
Flowers is 4 for 12 tonight. Do you like the decision to just run and play defense, Charles, or would you have liked to throw?
I would. They needed to maybe mix things up a little bit because they've been running all night. They have to keep them on their heels.
Not a good punt either. So Pittsburgh's going to get the ball on the Detroit 44-yard line. 2:44 to go in the fourth quarter. One of the fastest games in SFL history. Charles Doherty and Cameron Irvine with you. Michaela Foraker and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Mike Churchill's in the backfield, 13 carries for 59 yards tonight. Belitz up to 36 yards on 9 carries, and Fenix got 15 for 5. 6 of 13 for 106 on the rollout. Ace dumps it short. Ziggy coming back for it, picks up 4, stops the clock.
I do not hate that play. I mean, I'm not wild about the rollout, but a drop off to the short route, I think, is smart at this point. And they are in perfect field position here at this point of the game, and in their situation, they couldn't ask for a better place to be on the field.
The wind is at the back of Pittsburgh. Wind in the face of Detroit here in the fourth quarter. If it comes down to any kind of field goal situation. Play action from Ace. He's in trouble and sacked again. The defensive pressure gets there. Sean Parents. 3rd sack of the night. Now they got to go quick. 3rd and 12. Oh, it's trouble again. 4th and 16. What a mess.
Yeah, that's his 4th sack. He's all over the place. Just that's his line, and you're not going to get past him without his permission.
Well, in that time, you just wonder what else Pittsburgh had out of that formation, Charles, because you really want to audible out of that, especially after they just got the sack. Now it's 4th and 16. Pittsburgh's got to snap it just before the 2-minute warning. Fennick dumps it short. It's not even near Mike Churchill. This is a meltdown for Pittsburgh's offense in the fourth quarter.
Right before that last sack, Cam, I think it would have been a good time to maybe even call a timeout and get your head in it and figure out what you need to do. It seemed like they rushed it those last 2 plays, and they're paying for it.
2 minutes to go. Pittsburgh's back up against the wall now. And Charles, early on in an SFL season, these are the type of things that you see because coaches have not gotten a chance to go through all the scenarios and situations with their books. Every team is still fine-tuning things, and Pittsburgh, I think, is going to look back at that last series and say, okay, our number one priority this week is to hammer that out and figure out how to not have that happen to us again.
Yeah, I mean, on top of the playbooks, they're also trying to get a feel of their players too, what situations they excel at, and maybe some situations where you need to bring someone else in. And both of these teams have solid coaches, and I think whoever loses this game is going to bounce back.
Right now, that's looking like Pittsburgh, because Andrew Gibson's got a first down. One timeout left for the Riverhogs, trailing 13-6, a stark difference to Pittsburgh's first game where they lost to Lexington 34-27. Detroit has maintained this game from the jump.
Yeah, and they maintained it in the trenches. I mean, again, excellent work by that offensive line.
One more first down will do it for Detroit. And it's a handoff to the outside. Can he stay in bounds? He actually cuts it back inside. Smart run by Sutherland. Timeout, Pittsburgh. Wow. The game is over.
Definitely. Sutherland just put it on his shoulders and said, I want to go home. I'm hungry. And just give me the ball.
That's a wrap. Can you believe it, Charles? In less than an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there was only 3 possessions the entire game. Incredible. I mean, we talked about the run game for Detroit and how they could take control of the clock, and it's hard to overcome an offense that's running the ball so well like the Maulers were.
13 drives for Detroit, 9 for Pittsburgh. It didn't feel like that many, but man, Detroit. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but they made it happen tonight. They get their first win at home since relocating from Indianapolis. And next week they've got Oklahoma City, which all of a sudden looks like a very interesting game on the SFL calendar.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Oh my gosh. Always, facing a team coming off a loss, they're going to have that extra fire in them.
Pittsburgh hosts Carolina in their next game, and if Carolina they're coming off of a bye, so neither team is going to have a win in that one. Talk about a wounded animal game early on in the season. Neither Pittsburgh nor Carolina is going to want to continue this winless streak they're on. And for Pittsburgh, Charles, they've got a lot of great pieces, and they've been improving this team game in and game out, season in and season out, but an 0-2 start's got to feel disappointing.
It is disappointing, but it's not. It's not the end of the season by any means. And like I've said, both teams and Pittsburgh in particular is well coached, and they'll bounce back.
Yeah, that's the record, Delro, and that is it. What an unbelievable, just war in the trenches between two Midwest/Northeast cities, however you want to call it, between Pittsburgh and Detroit. It lived up to the billing, and it was a fun one. 256 to 189 in total yards, but this game was won from the get-go as Detroit was able to establish the line of scrimmage, and it wasn't flashy, but ultimately they were the better team tonight.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the time of possession, 24 to 15, almost 25. Given game balls out, I've got one for the offensive line, basically laying down the path for the running backs all game long, keeping the quarterback protected, no sacks against Flowers. And Sean Parent, anytime a defensive lineman gets 4 sacks, that's eye-opening. You got to walk away with some sort of accolade.
Yeah, I'm with you. Parent blew that game up in the fourth quarter because Pittsburgh had an opportunity to tie the game, and he literally wrecked the opportunity at the comeback. Well, thanks, everybody, for a great week 2. We'll see you back here for week 3. Charles and I are off next week, but we'll return in week 4 when the Denver Nightwings head to Mexico City to take on the Aztecs Monday, August 4th. Looking forward to welcoming you back. The Monday Night Spectacular, SFL This Week, and all that good stuff. We'll see you Saturday for the Matt Wilson Kickoff Show with Gerald Smith and Mike Daggs. For all of us here at the SFL, this has been a special presentation of the Virtual Football Network. For Ron Haynes, Michaela Foraker, Charles Doherty, and Yours truly, Cameron Irvine. Have a great evening and a great rest of your week, everybody. We'll see you back here on VFN. Good night.